In the intricate tapestry of global geopolitics, the relationship between individual nations and the mobility of their citizens can be heavily influenced by diplomatic relations, historical conflicts, and contemporary geopolitical events. As we gaze into the potential scenarios of 2024-2025, the interplay of these factors may lead to a landscape where UK citizens could find themselves facing varied degrees of welcome across the world. This exploration is not merely about listing countries with stringent travel restrictions or hostile environments for British travellers. It dives deep into the nuanced reasons behind such stances, from political retaliations and economic sanctions to cultural perceptions and security concerns. The United Kingdom, with its long-standing history of international influence and engagement, has been at the forefront of many global affairs. Its roles in various international conflicts, diplomatic endeavors, and its global political stance, often in alignment with Western allies, particularly the United States, have shaped its relationships with other nations. However, these relationships are not static. They evolve with changing administrations, shifts in foreign policy, and global events that can swiftly alter diplomatic dynamics. Such shifts can manifest in the form of travel advisories, visa restrictions, or more severe diplomatic measures like sanctions and entry bans, which directly impact the mobility of UK citizens. Moreover, the reception of UK citizens abroad is also contingent on the broader public perception and media portrayal within foreign nations. Media narratives, often influenced by state policies or populist sentiments, can paint the UK in lights ranging from favourable allies to unfavourable meddlers in sovereign affairs. This perception influences how UK nationals are treated, ranging from everyday interactions to institutional engagements with foreign governments. Before starting, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more future updates. Number 1. Russia's relationship with the UK has been marred by high-profile incidents and allegations that have significantly soured diplomatic ties. The infamous Skripal poisoning incident in 2018 and accusations of Russia's involvement in cyber attacks and electoral interference have led to a series of reciprocal expulsions of diplomats and wide-ranging sanctions. The UK's support for NATO's eastern expansion and military support for Ukraine has further strained relations. If geopolitical tensions escalate, perhaps due to new conflicts in Eastern Europe or further sanctions related to cyber warfare or human rights abuses, Russia could tighten its visa regulations for UK citizens, reduce embassy staffing, or enact entry bans as diplomatic leverage. The Russian media's portrayal of the West and particularly the UK could exacerbate public distrust, potentially making the social climate more hostile toward UK nationals. Number 2. Iran. The disintegration of the Iran nuclear deal, JCPOA, and the imposition of severe sanctions by Western nations, supported by the UK, have crippled Iran's economy and worsened domestic conditions. The UK's alignment with US policy in the region and its active participation in maritime security operations in the Persian Gulf have added layers of mistrust and hostility. Iran might look to impose strict visa controls or entry restrictions for UK nationals as a form of political retaliation or to strengthen its bargaining position in international negotiations. Such measures could be particularly focused on individuals involved in politics, military, and media fields Iran may perceive as engaged in soft power aggression or espionage. Number 3. North Korea. North Korea's extreme isolationism, underpinned by its nuclear ambitions and regular testing of ballistic missiles, continues to alarm the international community, including the UK, which participates in sanctions and military drills in the region. The secretive state perceives these actions as direct threats to its regime stability. The likelihood of North Korea allowing UK tourists or even diplomats within its borders is minimal, especially if global tensions rise. Any UK citizens attempting to enter North Korea risk severe penalties, including detention. North Korea's control over its borders is likely to tighten in response to what it views as hostile actions by the UK and its allies. Number 4. Venezuela. Venezuela has been in a state of political and economic turmoil for years, with hyperinflation, shortages of basic goods, and mass emigration defining the crisis. The UK's support of sanctions and recognition of opposition leaders has made it a direct player in Venezuela's internal politics. In response, the Venezuelan government might prohibit entry to UK citizens, especially those connected to diplomatic and humanitarian efforts, viewing them as part of a Western agenda to undermine the current regime. Such restrictions could also extend to journalists, making the country particularly unwelcoming to UK media personnel. Number 5. Syria. The UK's military involvement in Syria, part of the international coalition against ISIS and occasionally targeting regime forces, has deeply complicated its relationship with the Assad government. Accusations of unlawful civilian killings and the destabilizing impact of foreign intervention have left lingering resentment. Syria remains largely inaccessible to UK citizens, with existing travel bans likely to persist or even tighten. Any travel to Syria would carry extreme risks of detention or worse. Additionally, the UK government advises against all travel to Syria, and these advisories are expected to continue if the security situation does not improve. Number 6. Yemen. The UK's political support and arms sales to the Saudi-led coalition in the Yemen conflict have positioned it as a participant in the eyes of the Houthi rebels and their Iranian backers. This involvement has had devastating humanitarian consequences, leading to one of the world's worst modern humanitarian crises. Yemen is currently a no-go zone for UK nationals, with severe travel restrictions likely to remain. The chaotic and dangerous environment, coupled with active hostility to Western nations involved in the conflict, makes any form of travel or residency highly perilous for UK citizens. Number 7. Libya. The UK's participation in the NATO-led intervention that toppled Muammar Gaddafi in 2011 has left Libya in a state of persistent conflict and division. The resulting power vacuum has led to multiple factions vying for control, with no central authority recognised by all parties. Entry policies for UK citizens could be highly variable, depending on which faction controls a particular border or region. Some regions might strictly prohibit UK nationals due to perceived historical grievances, while others might be more welcoming if they perceive political or economic benefits. Number 8. Afghanistan. The rapid takeover by the Taliban following the withdrawal of US and NATO forces, including British troops, has drastically altered Afghanistan's political landscape. The Taliban's harsh interpretation of Islamic law and its aversion to Western influence pose significant challenges. Travel to Afghanistan for UK citizens under a Taliban regime would likely be impossible outside of specific, high-stakes diplomatic or humanitarian missions. The risks would include severe legal penalties, kidnapping, or other forms of violence. Number 9. Belarus. The regime of Alexander Lukashenko in Belarus has been criticized for its heavy-handed response to political opposition and civil society protests. The UK's sanctions and condemnations of human rights abuses during and after the 2020 election protests have led to a cooling of relations. Belarus could impose visa denials and entry bans on UK citizens, particularly those involved in human rights, journalism, or political activities. Surveillance and monitoring of UK nationals within Belarusian borders could also be intensified to prevent perceived foreign interference. Number 10. Myanmar. Following the 2021 military coup, Myanmar's junta has faced international isolation, with the UK imposing sanctions and calling for a restoration of democracy. The military government has been brutal in suppressing dissent and managing external relations. Myanmar's military might see UK citizens as undesirable, associating them with global efforts to undermine their authority. This could lead to strict controls on visas and travel, with potential risks for UK nationals including detention or deportation. Conclusion. The potential for certain countries to become less welcoming or even restrict entry to UK citizens in 2024-2025 is a complex issue rooted in the dynamic interplay of international relations, historical tensions, and evolving geopolitical scenarios. Each country's stance towards UK nationals will likely be influenced by a myriad of factors including diplomatic relations, national security considerations, regional alliances, and public perceptions shaped by media and cultural narratives. This is it for today's video. What do you think of our video? Comment below with your thoughts and let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more future updates. Thanks for watching.